Welcome back to my spiritual experience with your host, Brother Sadiq Ullah. It has been a little minute. We had the holidays and family and those experiences. Today, as I said, this show is about everyday spiritual experiences that we have and that are probably generally, in my opinion, shared amongst most of us, as I believe we are all one. And so I think us sharing these experiences and our ideas about them, our beliefs, what they mean to us, I think it's very important in this time. I also believe that right now, the time that we're in is extremely transformative. Um, if you look around the world, you can kind of see all of the things that are new that are happening. We got UAPs, UFOs all over the skies in not just America, all over the globe, so it seems. And so these are just like signs of the times. I have studied prophecy, and many of the things that I've studied are like culminating in our time, in our lifetime. And to me, it's a beautiful experience. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time. But there is also those who are not aware of, all of the things that I've studied that tell me that this is a transformative time, and uh, there are both good and bad things that will happen. And so it's a matter of perspective and where you place your attention. And so today, that's what I want to talk about. Our own personal involvement and development and uh, commitment to self, etc. These things are going to be extremely important right now in the times that we're in, because there is a valuable point that we're trying to share as souls. All of us here are to express, in my opinion, we're here to express our fullest self, right? Our truest, most authentic being, who we are at our core, and not who we have become based on the matrix and society and et cetera that has shaped and molded most of our ideas. So if we're at that time where there is this extreme transformation upon the face of the earth and mankind and the individual soul, then the spiritual transformations that I'm speaking about will be very personal to each individual. But I think it's important that we talk about them so that the shock of the times won't be so shocking, because it's something that is necessary for us to get to the glorious times, the beautiful times. So, fact of the matter is, most of us aren't happy in the way that the world is going, and I'm not just talking about the wars. I mean, just if you look at the categories of life experience, most of us are not thriving, are not reaching our fullest potential. We're not happy, and we're not happy for our loved ones. We're not happy with the way the world is around us, and we're not happy with the way that we see society moving. Now, I want to give my synopsis of what I think is happening, with all of this, because it is a broad, uh, it takes, in my opinion, a broad perspective. And I'm not saying I have the broadest perspective, but because of my studies, I think I have a more comforting perspective on what may be happening, what may seem tragic in our everyday experience, so that we can hold a different perspective and maybe move differently versus moving out of fear. And the reason I say that, and I'm not saying that, we're all moving out of fear, but that is definitely what the media of the Matrix and the newscasts and the everyday um, uh, forms of media present to us. They're fear based perspectives. And I believe there is a overarching goal in that fear based perspective that they're trying to push. I don't know if the video is, if this video is long enough to go into all of that. But what I want to really talk about is our own personal fight, our own personal perspective, and our own personal development through or in the midst of all of this chaos that we see presented before us. I'm going to just assume that most of us can feel and see the changes in the atmosphere, and we wonder where it's all going. What is it leading to? What is the outcome, right? So that's what I hope to share a little bit about today, and hope to be able to quell some fears. Well, ultimately, in my perspective, and from many of the scholarly eschatology uh, scholars, some of the people who study eschatology, which is basically end times prophecy, uh, we're in a general understanding that this is where we are. And it's not to be alarmist. It's actually a very good thing, because it does not mean the end of the world. It means the end of a system that is not effective for us to reach our fullest potential. And I think most of us would agree that this is not the system that is allowing us to reach our fullest potential. With all of the intended divisions that are placed before us, from racism to sexism to politics to climate, to all of these things that are causing us to be um, in competition against one another, attempting to overcome and achieve dominance over the other in ideology, and also, as you see, in actual warfare. So ultimately, where we're headed is to a realization of separation. There is a separation of who you believe you are and what you believe this world is. There is the, of course, obvious AI and what is it's called transhumanism ideology and movement that we should begin to attach, you know, the mechanisms of this world that are created by, Elon Musk and the brain thing, and all of the futuristic bionic possibilities that AI could present to advance the human physical, you know, muscles, healing, possibly even attaching your brain to a supercomputer so it gives you all of the knowledge of the world that an AI computer would have. These are all exciting ideas, but they are also transhumanistic, meaning to go cyborg, right? To attach all of these various yet to come technologies to the human body and the human framework, whether it be muscular or some of these things, of course, are going to be benefit, but there is also the fine line of losing your ultimate humanity without understanding the full capabilities of your humanity, right? This society, this matrix, this setup that we were born into, has devised a mindset that says that we are not powerful beings, that we are lowly, and that we must overcome so many of our own human flaws just to become worthy of, approval in society, maybe to get into heaven, or whatever other forms of trial and struggle that we reach towards, that we've been programmed to do. Many of these things are social constructs that are not true to the nature of the soul of the human. And so what we're doing is fitting ourselves into structures and to boxes and to formats of social organization and engineering that is um, causing us to not reach our full potential. That is the matrix. And so if we don't begin to see these things and understand these things, then the idea of attaching technology to the body to make you better than you are is extremely exciting for those who aren't aware of their spiritual gifts, abilities, capabilities, and all of the new information and research that is related to consciousness, which seems to be a programmer for the etheric material that is our reality. If you want to look this up, it's called the divine matrix. They call it the divine matrix. This is the material on which all things exist. So this goes into the quantum physics and quantum mechanics and the double slit experiment and our attention on a thing creating energies and effects on the things that we pay attention to, that we place our energy and attention on. The idea for me is that we've been distracted and programmed to believe that our attention and our intention and our personal, mental, spiritual, emotional focus has no value. And what science and quantum physics and the Heart Math Institute and all of these different quantum field studies are coming to the conclusion that our mind and our attention and our actual vision has power to create our reality. And of course, this is true because we can, okay, look, now I won't say this is 100% true. This is something I'm studying. This is something I've come to believe, but I believe it's true because we can feel someone staring at us across the street. So that's always going to be a factor that I use to prove the reality of our vision, our intention, having material reality to it because we can feel someone staring at us. And so what science always really is about is not creating laws of the universe. It's uncovering laws of the universe that have always been there. Like electricity existed before we had wiring to understand how to use and manipulate electricity. It always existed. The radio signal always existed, you know. So are these things relative to our own human potential? Right. And so were radio waves related to our psychic abilities, right? Are they somehow related to these things that are the unseen relevant powers that exist just being human? Okay. And so what this is saying is that we are extremely powerful in our own relativity to our own creation, to our own perception of reality. Perception, your perception is your reality. So if they can convince you that you are small, then you will be small. If they can convince you that you are the descendant of a slave and that there is no glory in your history, then that is what you will believe about yourself. If they can convince you that you are poor white trash who come from generations of poor people and that is the relevant theme of your family's life, then we will be convinced of these things. So my own study and the importance of what these studies are proving is that what we've been hearing all our life is that, I have the idea of mind over matter. What you believe has more effect on the material world than what we've ever been allowed to understand. So my understanding is that some of these elite or secret society um, uh, groups around the world, throughout America, have long known the ability of our influence over the material world through our psychology, our perspective, our vision, our belief, our understanding of what the reality is. And so all of these things are coming to light in our times because it is the merging of science and spirit. And because science is a part of the what they call zeitgeist of this world, once it's validated in that manner, then it becomes way more accepted to believe in the spiritual aspect of your life and your existence at all. Okay. This may seem like a rambling, but I'm actually getting to a larger point because of where we are and the UFOs in the sky and all of what I understand through prophecy. And so, what I'm talking about is the power of the individual human, your spirit, your relativity to the existence here on this planet, and your own life, and its relevance to where we are. In my opinion, every human that is on this planet right now is here by full intention and direction of a higher power, right? And so my belief is that on this planet right now, in this time, there are those who have ideas and systems within themselves that are going to be a part of what is to come after the bad things that we're going to have to go through. Okay. If a system is to be changed from something that we all see is not productive for the majority of us into something that is going to be effective, that supports the blossoming and blooming of all of us, that is a different system. It will not be a smooth transition. So where we are, we're coming upon shock and awe. We're coming upon those things that will cause men's hearts to fail, those things that will be seen in the world that will cause women to drop their baby as they stand, where they stand when they see the things that are to come upon the world. And so yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting to. And so what I'm saying about that is that how you perceive what you see coming into this world is definitely going to affect the next stages and where you end up or where you go from this transitional point in our human experience, because this is far greater than one cycle or season or relative to just one idea. Like I'm saying that because it's like you got all of these yuga cycles, you got the Mayan calendar, you've got so many forms of prophecy that lead to this exact time. And so what I'm saying is there is no, there is not one, there are several uh, lineages of prophecy that lead to this exact time and what we're seeing happening in our lifetime. And so to deny it would be extremely foolish. And so for me, it's about delivering a clear perspective. And I don't even like to say warning but it feels like a warning, but I don't really want to say warning because I don't want it to be fearful. I don't want it to be panic, but I do want it to be urgent. I want it to be pressing because it is relevant to your soul. It is relevant to your soul. It is relevant to your next level of presence and existence. Okay. And so in that sense, yeah, I do feel there is an urgency and I feel an emergency. And just listen to the word emergency. So something is emerging and we can feel it all in the atmosphere. We see it, these signs and wonders in the skies, right? Right. That's what they are, right? Um, and they're presented in such a display that you cannot deny them anymore, right? I'm talking about not just the UFO, UAP things, but I'm talking about the clouds, the moon, the stars. All of these systems above our head are doing things that they've not done before. They're transforming, the energies are shifting. We're at what they call solar maximum. Light has been proven to be information and education. And so in this very time, all of these truths are coming to light and coming to a head. we're about to reach a precipice. And so the importance for me is to alert as many souls as possible, because I've done this. I have another channel. It's called Deep Speak with Brother Sadiq. I've done this for years, kind of a watchman on the wing, trying to alert you guys to what I've understood through the times as where we are and what we should be doing, and not saying that I've mastered all of these things, but I'm not going to wait until I do to share, because maybe my sharing helps someone master them before me, right? Because it's not like what I'm saying is not true. I think everything that I'm saying can be determined with just small amounts of research and experiential trial and error, because nothing beats internal knowing from experience and trial and error of a thing. Nothing beats that, not a book. Nothing beats the interior experience of knowing the reality of something based on you putting it to trial. So anyway, where we are, we're in that time. We're in a very tight precipice. We're about to reach a precipice. We're about to reach a point that will be transformative, and determinative, determinant of where your future self may go to. And excuse me, I'm just a little. Anyway, I want to say a few things, right? Because I'm always working on self. I'm always trying to be better. I'm always wanting to share what I learned. That's like one of the hallmarks of people who learn things. They want to share it. It's not just for self. So what I want to talk about is where we are and what I think people need to be doing. And, like I said, I'm no authority on anything. If you believe me, believe me. If you trust me, trust me. If you listen to this and it rings true in your spirit, then rock with it. If not, then keep moving as you have been. But I think we all have this internal inspiration, an internal unsettling, an internal something that is moving, that is telling you, yes, this is a time that something needs to be different about your own life. Yeah. And so the responsibility falls on each individual. And so that's what I want to talk about. Like I said, spirituality is extremely personal and intimate. And so I look at our people, I look at the way the world moving, I look at the general focus of the big picture of our society right now. And we're all off, we're a lot of us are misguided by what they're putting in the news, what they're promoting through their programming. And so what I'm saying is you got to get down to your nitty gritty related to your own ass, and get out of the heads of what these people are trying to put in your head, right? You know in your own self what you need to get towards, and you have to do it now, because half steppers, bullshitters, laggers are going to pay a price for all of that now at this time. So for the years on my other channel is what I was saying. I've been telling people, giving warnings. We're moving into some shit, and we're closer than ever. These things in the sky, you can't deny what's going on no more. This is not a questionable reality anymore, unless you just you're part of the old script, don't look up movie script, because this is crazy, right? So with all this happening, um, where are you spiritually? Right? Where are you spiritually? If no, I know we done all got all jaded against religion, all of the shady ass preachers, and all of the sex scandals in relation to the monks and the meditation. Everybody did some shit that's wrong, right? We're in that time, and we all have this judgmental mentality about everything that's going on in the world. Um, in some ways, those things are distractions, because what is being said is still true, right? The people got flaws, right? The human of the human perspective of those people have flaws, but are their teachings sound? Are their teachings true? Are what they're saying real time experience of what we happening right, what we seeing right before our face? So we can't keep denying that some of these people was obviously right, and we've been jaded against religion, but look where you are. And so you better go back and look at some of these religious texts, these prophecies, and check your own mindset about what you see going on in front of you. Okay. So what I'm saying is this: get your spiritual self in order, and it may already be too late, but if it's not, let me say the basics, right? You got to at least do the basics, right? Like, okay, you might not be on heavy meditation, you might not be on understanding quantum physics, you might not be on the religious thing, you might, but something is happening. You feel it, you see it, the experience is palpable, as they say, right? What are you going to do? You have to do something, right? And so at least do what's right, right? We got to go back to the original old school basics. Do what's right, right? Do what's right. Just start there, dog. That'll hold you down. And then see, because what we're moving into a time where you're gonna have to listen to your intuition. And if you don't have trust in your intuition, then you may easily be misguided by the different lines and waves of the matrix and its program. Because intuitive decision making is damn near the step for step process that you're going to have to utilize to get through these times correctly, right? 2 plus 2 will definitely not be equaling 4 in these times, meaning what you've always known to be reality and the way that you've always moved in a situation. I don't believe you should just do that again because that's the way it's always been. And you just keep doing what you've done because that's what you do. When anytime this presented, anytime this type of situation is presented, I always do this how I do it, this how I move. You have that right. But it's probably not the way you should move. You should probably really sit with the fucking thing and internalize it for a minimal amount of time to an extended amount of time to be sure in this time that everything inside you says yes or no or whatever you have to do. But you better be using that interior guidance as your guide in these times. And the thing that's sad to me is when I look upon the world, most of us are not in balance enough to trust our intuition as its guide. Many of us have been manipulated by their self. Like you said, you got and you got an angel and the devil in the mindset, right? That's the reality. It's the yin and the yang, right? And you got a decision each time, right? And you have choices, right? And these choices are related to your spiritual development, and some are related to your development within the framework of the matrix. Sometimes they're in alignment. Most of the times they are not. So, especially in these times, the matrix is about to go down, and if uh, your reality is highly related to to being in alignment with the matrix, then you're probably going to go down with it. So, the emergency is about your spiritual decision making, and to be sure that's what you're using versus your mentality in relation to thriving in the matrix. Thriving in the matrix at this time, unless it's in the form of transforming it, it's probably not where you want to be or focus towards. You need to be focusing on, you see what's going on in the world. This is bigger than the matrix, right? This is universal change happening. This is universal change happening, way bigger than government and the matrix. This is about the beings of the planet being one human family and about to meet other beings in the universe that are of a different species and a different portion of the universal family. And so some won't be coming with us because they have not done any work towards balancing their spiritual selves or even making an effort towards listening to the intuitive direction of their soul. So those who have been stuck in the matrix, listening only to that which promotes your advancement in the matrix, this is for you and for those of you who love them, and for those of you who may know them. Share this. Tell them. Talk to them personally. Don't show them my video. If you believe what I'm saying, you better tell them themselves. This is not that time. This is the time for you to be getting your own personal interior balance in as much harmony as you can. And it starts with just doing what's right. Don't lie, don't steal, don't rob people, don't hustle nobody. You know, give up the small petty mentality of nickel slick Johnny who can get over on mugs, and try to find your best way of serving people and showing love and sharing love and being loved. The world is fucked up. Anyway, so we have to become those who have a vision of what the world shall be. We can't look at the fear of, oh, this is what they doing. They finna AIS, they finna turn us into cyborgs, they finna cut off the money, they finna do. You can have all of those fears because that is what is being promoted. But you can also have the reality that you are here now as a powerful being. Your mind, your vision, your intention, your emotional perspective can be guided from inside by you. And if you cut the TV off, cut the matrix off, and say, what world do I want to have? What world do I want to see? Because we know it's going to change. It's going to change. Now you can sit arbitrarily on the side and just be caught in the winds of change and not have any effect or presence to make your own version of this change come forward. You can sit on the sideline, or you can recognize the times that we're in, that science is proving that our spiritual version of ourself can become reality. Your spiritual version of yourself is that in your mind of who your highest self is, right? And so this is what you have to begin to do. You can, all of the books. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I don't think I know everything, but I'm always studying. I'm always learning because I'm wanting to better myself. And I think that is the goal of the human experience, to be getting better every day. Like the plants and the animals, they grow, they process, they get better, they reach their height, they reach their peak, then they, diminish. Some books say we're not supposed to even diminish. So, yeah, it's about how you perceive your own reality. And what they've done is trained us into a reality that is not our benefit. So we have to stylize in our own minds the reality that we wish to see, meaning this world that would come after this one, because something, as we know, this is about to change, regardless of going into the cyborg world or bliss, whatever your future version of reality is. You can begin to put energy toward it by meditating on it, by visualizing it, by imagining yourself having the experience of that beautiful future, that beautiful world, that beautiful self you are in that world. Now, do that. Take time, practice that, because that is a power that we really have. They're proving it through quantum physics, quantum mechanics, the Heart Math Institute, Greg Braden. I'm just throwing out names, but that's one aspect of life. And then you have the other social order aspects of life, like America and its obvious divisions. What will this lead to? I believe it's going to lead to some immediate negativity from the perspective of most people saying that war and bloodshed are negative, because that's the reality of how we feel as a human being, to see anyone lose their lives or the things that are to come. But these are things that are to come, have been written for years. So this is not like fear mongering. It's just telling you, prepare your interior self for the prospect of the reality that in your very lifetime, these things are about to take place. And if you spiritually, internally, mentally fortify yourself, recognizing who you are, why you're here, that you are a part of the great creator. He said, I breathed life into you. I intended you to be here. You have a purpose and you're here now, right? You're here now in the time where we see the world is about to transform. You're here to help transform it. Now, will you transform it out of your fear? Because the Matrix said, oh, yeah, this coming, rah, 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 rah. Or will you transform it out of the beauty of your spirit and your soul and the brightness of the light that is your internal self? That is why you're here. That's what you're supposed to be doing. So that's what the video is about today. Your own effect, man. All roads lead to spirit. And if you keep looking at the world as it is, then they're going to control you right into fear, and you're going to create from that fear into your own world all of the things that they're showing you in the matrix. Or you can cut the matrix off out, focus only on the things that you want to see in your reality, beauty, the understanding of spiritual self. You have to do this whether you want to or not. All roads lead to spirit. You know, if you watch any of the NDEs, everybody shoot out of here and they be a spirit and they still alive and they got to deal with the reality of that existence. And so in this lifetime, the more you learn about your spiritual reality, then as you move through the realms beyond this, you have more groundation, foundation, understanding, perspective, and you don't get caught in the mind traps that they're throwing on you. Like, I study a lot of different aspects of reality and spirituality, and I don't study them all from my own perspective because, of course, I'm one human being. And in my lifetime, the things that I want to know, I don't know that I'll have enough time in this lifetime to study them all. So yeah, I believe in reincarnation even to that extent, because in my own life, there's so much that I want to know that I know if I put all my attention into it, I'd have to neglect every human that I know in my life. I'd have to focus so fully only on those things in the time frame that I won't have enough time in this lifetime unless I find some miraculous cure that extends my lifetime into, many of the time frames of our lifetime. It's not gonna happen in one lifetime. So study hard and shake this matrix, man. Y'all gotta get out of this because it's going to go down. And if your mindset and your perspective is guided and controlled by what they told you is happening, then you're going to have a very fearful perspective. And that will be those whose hearts will fail from the things that they will see, because you have no reference for what is about to come. And so that's what I'm suggesting to you. Get your spiritual self, your own personal daily in yourself. Nobody can see it but you, and you know whether it's in total good or, come on, we got to do this, man. If we don't, you know, it's already been written what is going to become. So whether I'm just saying, like, I'm saying this, even if all of these things come about and all of these problems and the wars and the violence and the chaos and the craziness come about and I become a victim of it, I'm okay with that because I'm getting myself together internally so that whatever happened, it's what's meant to happen for me, right? So I'm not fearing it. It's just like, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of exciting. It's kind of exciting. I think for those of us who have kind of studied this is what we've been waiting for. It's like everything that we've ever studied and known and talked about and shared with the people is now being validated. And it's not like I told you so. It's almost like, please listen and hurry up and try to do the things that I've been trying to tell y'all all this time, because cleaning up the soul, cleaning up the spirit don't happen in one day. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it cannot, because that's the miracle of God, right? That's the miracle of the spirit, right? You connect in the right way and God wipe all that out in an instant, right? So I'm not saying it's not, but you know where you've been, you know what you've done, you know the lines you've crossed. And if you're not willing to go into those trenches and say, I was wrong, align me, however, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, all these things, then okay. Stand with your pride in the matrix and roll as it roll away. But if you really ready to get forward, you better start working on that and looking at that closely and clearly. And this is just out of love, man, because like I said, it's not a threat. It's not a a panic, scary, what they say, fear porn video. It's just saying, I hope y'all can see that that the presence of this reality is transforming before your eyes. And if you don't play your part or take your stance to become who you're supposed to be, as you are here by full intention from the creator, then it may be costly. And I don't want it to be costly. I love you. I love me. I love all of us. And I know that we're here as those souls who are supposed to bring in God's kingdom on earth. And so by that fact, fear should not be an issue. But I understand because of our programming, but it's time to let it go. It's time to get over it. It's time to find the deepness and the depth of ourself that says, I am who I am, right? I am who God made me. I am, right? We are all parts of that great I am. And if you take note of the science of the day, it's all proving it as us being co-creators of this reality. So take your part and co-create, and let's bring about a beautiful world that is to come. So yeah, I hope it wasn't too much, but it was what I felt I needed to get out at this part of the day and at this part in the times that we're in. So I love you. Deep speak. No, this is not that. Anyway, all roads lead to spirit. And I will see you on the next episode of My Spiritual Experience. Y'all have a good day.